Right now, live at 5, Capitol Hill is buzzing this New Year's Day as lawmakers in Washington work to override a presidential veto. Plus, requesting a delay why prosecutors in the George Floyd case are asking a judge to delay trial by more than 3 months. Around the globe, New Year's Eve looked much different than years past. We'll show you how people celebrated the usually busy holiday. Because of the coronavirus, people had to find different ways to spend their time in quarantine. We'll introduce you to a Minnesota teen who combined his knowledge of computer games with the pandemic.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from Times Square on the first day of 2021. Happy New Year's to you. We're only a few short weeks from inaugurating a new president, but electoral challenges on Capitol Hill could make for a messy ceremony for President-elect Biden. That story and more in this next half hour. Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Thanks for joining us tonight. The Senate held a rare New Year's Day session to override a presidential veto. Soon, a new Congress will begin, with lawmakers bracing for a series of challenges during next week's electoral vote counting. Those objections are expected to delay but not overturn congressional certification of President-elect Biden's win. Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill with more.
The bill on reconsideration is passed.
The U.S. Senate delivered the first successful override of President Trump's veto of the National Defense Bill. Earlier, Senate Republican leaders killed a final attempt for a vote on the House bill to give $2,000 stimulus checks to many Americans.
The House Democrats' bill is just simply not the right approach.
This is the last chance to deliver $2,000 before a new Congress is sworn in.
The new Congress convenes Sunday, and it will face its first test just 3 days later, with dozens of House Republicans and GOP Senator Josh Hawley expected to contest the counting of the electoral votes.
This is the only opportunity that I have to be heard and to speak up on behalf of my constituents.
The president praised Hawley on Twitter, saying America is proud of Josh and the many others who are joining him.
Vice President Mike Pence will preside over the counting of the votes. Late Thursday, he and the Justice Department asked a Texas federal judge to throw out a case that would empower him to overturn the election results.
The long-shot lawsuit was brought by Texas GOP Congressman Louis Gohmert. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking down to Georgia's two crucial Senate runoff elections on January 5th. The outcome there will determine which party controls the U.S. Senate. The race pits Republican incumbents Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue against Democratic challengers Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff. Senator Perdue is currently in quarantine after coming in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19. On Monday, both President Trump and President-elect Joe Biden will hold rallies in Georgia to get out the vote for their party's candidates.
More than 3 million Georgia residents voted early for the January 5th runoff elections. Dave's here for a quick look at the weather. Happy New Year, Dave. We have made it through 2020, and the start of 2021 wasn't so bad.
Temperature-wise, no, it was warmer than normal this morning. Past couple of mornings have been fairly brisk, especially in your neck of the woods towards Hibbing, Chisholm, and places like that. Toivola Meadowlands, too. Well, temperature-wise, let's take a look at what we had for lows then. And they were above zero, above board and above zero for most towns except a couple. Ashland did hit one below, so did Siren and Watersmeet, but Hibbing 16 above, 10 above for Solon Springs, and similar temperatures likely will come around again tomorrow morning. One of the reasons why it isn't bitterly cold, even though it's January 1st, that big low pressure system you see undercutting our region. It's probably not going to bring us any precip, but its clouds are blowing over into our region, and cloud cover, of course, helps keep temperatures up. So yesterday we had a temperature inversion keeping the clouds going. Now a passing low pressure system is doing the same thing, but finally, I think by Saturday here, that high pressure that's been waiting on our doorstep will finally start to push some holes in the clouds and bring us at least some partial sunshine. Here's a look at the weekend forecast. Tonight, it should be mostly cloudy, but 15 above again for low temp for most towns. 28 above tomorrow for a high temp with partial sunshine. And then the high finally wins clear to partly cloudy on Sunday with a high near 30. Sunnier and warmer than normal, perhaps. When's our next snow chance? It could be a little bit after Sunday. We'll tell you when, coming up after a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Prosecutors in the case against the 4 Minneapolis police officers charged in the death of George Floyd requested the trial be delayed by 3 months. The trial has been scheduled for March, but prosecutors want to delay it until June 7th. They said they want it delayed because of the pandemic and the amount of time needed before enough people are vaccinated and health risks are sufficiently diminished. The now fired police officers were charged in the death of Floyd on May 25th while he was forcibly detained on a South Minneapolis street corner. Meanwhile, new details following an officer-involved shooting in Minneapolis earlier this week. Yesterday, police in Minneapolis released body camera video from a traffic stop that ended in the death of a man. The video release was a quick move aimed at stemming public anger over the city's first police-involved death since George Floyd's death in May. The short clip from one officer's camera showed the man trying to drive away from police before his vehicle was blocked in. The man looked through his window at officers. His window shattered and more than a dozen shots can be heard. Chief Medaria Arredondo said it appeared to him the man fired at officers first. Around the world, New Year's Eve was different this year, from unrestricted fireworks shows in some countries to silent streets in others. CBS's Ian Lee shows us how people said goodbye to 2020 during the pandemic.
The show went on despite the pandemic ruining the party. Fireworks and the unusual sight of crowds welcomed the New Year in Taiwan. While in Wuhan, China, the origin of the pandemic, revelers released balloons at the stroke of midnight. In Cairo, the night sky lit up over the Nile, while Moscow's Red Square exploded with a multitude of colors. The world's tallest building in Dubai entertained with fireworks and a light show. But in Europe, celebrations were a bit more subdued. Paris's streets celebrated in silence. Big Ben struck midnight in London, ushering in the new year. But because of a surge in COVID cases, small groups were quickly moved along.
Please, you should not be gathering here.
And in Rio de Janeiro, known for celebrating with a bang, the country said goodbye to 2020 with a whimper and a good riddance.
Brazil has been one of the hardest hit by the pandemic with almost 200,000 deaths. Still to come on Live at 5, a drop in COVID cases across greater Minnesota, plus vaccinations begin in Ashland. City by City is up next. And coming up tonight at 6, the annual John Bear Grease Sled Dog Race is just under a month away, but the event that usually draws thousands up the shore will look different this year.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS3. When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I? Wow, is that really me?
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, this new year, you can celebrate knowing you look your best with Plexiderm. Lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video that the viewers can watch while you and I talk. And you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. And I did this to my father. We were at home, and we were screaming. 4 minutes, 34 seconds, completely gone.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. These lines bother me. They really do. And this is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It feels great. Looks even better.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. How it makes you feel inside is amazing. Plexiderm, seriously, It fixes all that. It makes you feel as good outside as you do inside. Honest to God, it's amazing. There's nothing there. Like, the bags are gone.
And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. So it targets all those problem areas.
So this would be a daily thing, or just when you want to, like, get rid of the bags? And
Yeah, it absolutely could be a daily thing. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
This new year is the best time to get Plexiderm for only $14.95 and see it work for yourself after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look over the city of Duluth on this Friday. Dave will have your weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's take a look around the region. New cases are on the downslope across parts of greater Minnesota, plus the Moderna vaccine has arrived in the Bay Area. That and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. Starting things off on the Boys Fort Reservation, where health officials have reported another week of 0 COVID-19 cases. As the state and surrounding area continue to fight an uptick in cases, the Boys Fort Band has become an exception for the region. This comes as residents there begin receiving their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Now we'll head up to Ely, where the area has also seen a drop in cases since the second wave of lockdowns began. Health officials are reporting just over 10 cases in a 2-week window. Currently, Ely has met the threshold where students can return to in-person learning under the previous model. And finally, we'll finish off in Ashland, where vaccinations are well underway in the Bay Area. Staff at Ashland's Memorial Medical Center have begun receiving their first dose of the Moderna vaccine. The hospital received 200 doses of the vaccine, but officials there say more will be needed in order to vaccinate all of their staff. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland city by city. Still to come on Live at 5, looking to land a new career in 2021, we have some tips that could help.
January 1st, record low temp, 30 below from 1974. I remember that one. Well, it won't be that cold tomorrow morning. The warm spell's coming our way, and high temps could go towards 30 over the weekend here. We'll talk about how long that dares to last coming up after our break.
They're live, they're local. Watch the CBS3 News with Kristen Vaki and Anthony Matt tonight at 6, right after the CBS Evening News at 5:30.
Breathe in the bacon, breathe out the bacon. In bacon, out bacon. Western Bacon Cheeseburger or Famous Star with cheese. Buy one, get one for just $1. Only at Hardee's.
The world changed in an instant, but at MediaCom, we were ready. And as internet traffic increased, we never slowed down. Schools and businesses went virtual, and we powered a new reality. For more than 20 years, we've been building a future-ready network to keep you ahead of it all. And now, MediaCom will be among the first to take you to 10G. We're making the next giant leap forward in internet technology and taking you further than you can imagine.
At Super One Foods, you'll find more than just low prices and better choices. You'll find friendly faces like ours, working hard to save you money.
Super One has a tireless commitment to quality and freshness and a goal of delivering 5-star service to every customer to bring the absolute best value to your shopping experience. Check out these specials available at all Super One locations going on now.
So stop into the Super One Foods right in your neighborhood. Super One Foods, serving you with low prices and better choices.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Be like the famous star. Resilient, meaty, juicy, and other adjectives. Famous Star with cheese or Western Bacon Cheeseburger. Buy one, get one for just $1. Only at Hardee's.
Coming up tonight at 6, 2 people have been charged in connection to a Duluth shooting that left a victim with critical injuries.
And the clouds stayed fairly thick today. I'll talk about when we have a hope of actually seeing the sun again tonight at 6.
CBS3 Weather is brought to you by Continental Ski and Bike. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
The first of the year is here. My 29th doing this weather business, and of course was behind the scenes for about 4.5 years before that. Well, let's wrap up the December numbers from this go-around, this year's go-around, and normal mean temperature, 14.8 degrees is what we usually get around here in December. This December, though, we pushed it up to 19.7, which means a departure from normal of almost 5 degrees, 4.9 degrees. For the month ahead, some sources are indicating we'll be pretty close to normal for this January. And after a while, 2020, normal sounds kind of nice, doesn't it? We'll see how it plays out. And, of course, you can keep track of this with me by eyeing us up here on CBS3 every day at 5, 6, and 10, in the mornings, too. And weekends as well. We love to have you casting your eye upon us. All right, let's cast our eye upon some current conditions before we talk more about the forecast. And here's a live shot of what's happening up in Virginia. And this persistent cloud deck that hasn't been pushed away by higher pressure is up there as well. And we still see plenty of fresh snow from the past system on that neck of the woods as well. Well, towards the Duluth neck, at the airport, the current temp is 21, 85% is our relative humidity with a west wind 5 miles per hour, and high air pressure at 30.07 inches of mercury, but again, not high enough to chase away that persistent deck of clouds just a few thousand feet above us. Current temps, 16 to 23 in the Upper Peninsula. Northern Wisconsin is running 19 to 23, and in northern Minnesota, it looks like it's going about 19 to 23 degrees there as well. Cloud cover is a great unifier here, making things very, very steady and stable around the region, at least as far as temperatures go. And as far as precip goes, I think will be fairly stable as well. The clouds are in the area. Now, one reason, of course, is that temperature inversion from yesterday, a thinner deck over much of Minnesota. And now the blow-off of a low-pressure system to our southeast is coming into Wisconsin and the UP and may backtrack into Minnesota as well, keeping us mostly cloudy tonight. But with the high-pressure system still trying to push in from the west, we'll split the difference and we'll have some clouds, yes, but we'll keep away the precip, and by averaging things together, we'll come up temperature-wise milder than normal, at least through the weekend. Things may change up just a little bit by Monday, and that's because farther to the west, there is a trough of lower pressure that could be with us on Monday, but about all that's going to do is give us a 20% chance for flurries. The better chance for snow is a more organized low-pressure system still in the Pacific Northwest, which by Wednesday might bring a 30% chance for some light snow showers around the region, perhaps a little more than the flurries on Monday, but not a big storm like last week, and definitely not a blizzard. At least that's what it looks like at this stage of the game. All right, let's play the 7-day forecast game here. And we start tonight in Minnesota, where low temps should be pretty mild, about 14 to 20 above, with that mostly cloudy sky persisting. And it'll persist over Wisconsin and Michigan as well, with low temps there, roughly 10 to 16. Getting into tomorrow's forecast, that high pressure cell, I've been saying this for 2 days, but now I really think it's going to come true. Famous last words, huh, Kristen? Partly sunny, finally, a few glimpses of sun. High temps near 30 above, that's warmer than normal. Minnesota high temps should go upper 20s to about 30 with a partly sunny sky, and that's warmer than normal. And it stays warmer than normal on Sunday and finally gets to be reasonably sunny as the high pressure system really takes over. Partly cloudy and 30. Monday's got the slight flurry chance. Wednesday has the 30% chance for light snow. Temperature-wise, if normal is around 18, 19, we're warmer than normal all week long, both for the high temps and the overnight lows.
You know what's exciting about that is the ice is thick enough now where you can get out, go ice fishing, ice skating.
Yep.
There's plenty of snow for sledding, so this weekend looks like a great one to just be outside and enjoy our beautiful area.
Yeah, if we can keep these numbers below 32 for the most part, then we'll hold on to all those treasures.
I love that. We have a long winter ahead, so let's enjoy
probably
it.
5 more months, yeah.
Thanks, Dave. For job seekers and employers, 2020 was a year of having to navigate new ways of finding work. Traditional methods of applying and interviewing have transformed into the virtual model. With virtual job fairs, applications, and interviews, it can be difficult for job seekers to stand out. Workforce development technician Betsy Hill says employers are having a hard time connecting with job seekers because traditional methods are not available to them. Even so, opportunities are still out there, and the classic job advice stands the test of time.
having your resume tailored for the jobs you're applying for, making sure you're ready in an interview to give great example stories of the skills that you are looking to use in the new job. Those are tried and true and as important now as ever.
Hill also recommends virtual interviewees dress professionally, tidy away distractions, and make sure the webcam works ahead of time. We have a full list of virtual job search tips on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. All across the country, people had to find different ways to spend their time in quarantine. In Minnesota, there's someone who used his time at home in a creative way. CBS 3's Kendall Jarboe tells us how one teen combined his knowledge of computer games with the pandemic.
For many, the coronavirus pandemic is a time to get creative. And 16-year-old Josh Turniak did just that.
COVID Invaders is a game that allows you basically to shoot vaccines at the coronavirus. And I actually built this game myself to help promote the vaccine and help spread awareness about it.
Encouraged by his friend, Turniak spent 2 months coding the computer game.
I've never built a game before, but for the past 3 years I have been coding and I've been teaching myself how to program computers.
Along with the game, an original song about the vaccine.
COVID invaders, just kill the virus with the vaccine. Many people are laughing when they hear the song. The song just has some lyrics about the game.
Turniak is trying to make the most of his time at home and hopes others do the same.
During this pandemic, it's tough for many people, but I think also many people don't realize how much time they have. So if you just use your time wisely, you can build cool things. Or if you don't want to build anything, you can just learn interesting things.
It's a game hoping to give others a bit of fun in light of the circumstance.
The virus should put on a mask. Then you can just dance all day long.
COVID Invaders launched 2 weeks ago, and since then, more than 3,000 people have played. If you'd like to give it a go, we have a link on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. Still to come, new year, new tax season. How you can avoid paying a hefty bill when filing your taxes.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Caitlin Moffitt this morning.
And the below average trend
Thanks so much for joining us. So wake up with us starting at 5 a.m.
Watch Caitlin and Jenna in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m. on CBS 3.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19. And at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me to understand how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
It's really, really wavy that day.
Because you're the rudder and I am the power.
Season 33 of Discover Wisconsin was the most anticipated season in our show's history. In a brand new 2-part special edition of Discover Wisconsin, our crew members give you a never-before-seen look behind the cameras.
I remember when we were done with that, I turned to our producer and said, "You better use this shot."
Don't miss the best of Season 33, Parts 1 and 2.
Everything that happens on a day-to-day basis in terms of news, no matter what happens in news, weather is always constant, weather is always changing as well. So it's still an important role as the meteorologist to kind of still stay grounded and to kind of just know that role and what to take and kind of just make sure you're delivering what's the most important for your viewers. But then also I like to touch base on the national things. All of those news stories also tie in with weather stories because they do go kind of hand in hand.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
always ready, always there. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to CBS3.
With 2020 now over, it's a good time to start planning your finances for the new year. Experts say there are some steps to take now to make sure you don't get a big tax bill later on. Nichelle Medina reports.
The pandemic forced millions of Americans to leave the office. In a recent survey, 53% of people working in their house said they plan to take a home office tax deduction, but they may not qualify.
Only if you're self-employed or have a home business are you allowed to deduct a home office. If you're just working at home for the convenience of your employer, like I do many days, that is not a home office deduction, but many taxpayers think it is.
Mark Stieber from Jackson Hewitt says there is also a lot of confusion over the stimulus checks.
Not taxable. You do not have to pay taxes on it.
But while stimulus checks are not taxable, unemployment benefits are. Experts say people who collected unemployment need to plan now for how that will impact their tax bill this spring.
Especially for those who received unemployment benefits and did not withhold.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger also says Americans who work remotely outside their usual city or state may face a different tax rate.
What you need to do is compile the number of days throughout the year that you worked in your primary location, then the days that you worked elsewhere. So you compile those days, then you check where your primary residence is, see what the rules are.
Some workers need to prepare for a smaller paycheck. Payroll taxes that were relaxed for many employees during the pandemic are returning in 2021, which will mean less take-home pay.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News. As America tops 20 million coronavirus cases, the concerns tonight over that new strain of COVID-19. It has health officials worried heading into this new year. Plus, our exclusive interview with an American imprisoned in Iran for over 3 years. His warning to President-elect Biden about negotiating with the Iranian regime. And we go on the road, how an electrician's act of kindness sparked a nationwide movement of pitching in for those in need. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Change the future of medicine from the convenience of home. Join the All of Us research program to help improve health research and speed up medical breakthroughs. Visit essentialhealth.org/allofus to learn more.
Get out and experience the great outdoors this winter with gear from your friends at Continental Ski and Bike. Continental has alpine, Nordic, and fat biking gear for the whole family. Looking to tune your current gear? Let Continental technicians tune up your skis for your next adventure.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19. And at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers get paid training to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. Army National Guard soldiers are learning skills that can set them up for success with companies looking to hire the best.
The Army National Guard basically built my resume for me.
Find out how you can learn a trade and serve part-time for your community and country by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men, celebrating 30 years in business in 2021 with 30% off store-wide, downtown Duluth.
Welcome back to the CBS 3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from Canal Park on this Friday evening. Let's take a quick look at some of today's top stories, and we'll see what's coming up tonight at 6. The Senate held a rare New Year's Day session to override a presidential veto. Soon, a new Congress will begin, with lawmakers bracing for a series of challenges during next week's electoral vote counting. Those objections are expected to delay but not overturn congressional certification of President-elect Biden's win. For job seekers and employers, 2020 has been a year of having to navigate new ways of finding work. Workforce Development Technician Betsy Hill says employers are having a hard time connecting with job seekers because traditional methods are not available to them. And tonight at 6, the annual John Bear Grease Sled Dog Race is just under a month away, but the usual event that draws thousands up the shore will look different this year. Dave, first day of a new year, and temperatures aren't that bad out there.
No, we're in the midst of a mini warm spell. We're not going to go much over freezing, but we're only supposed to be around 18 for our highs. And so that's what's with us for a couple of days here. Saturday, partly sunny and 28. I know I've been calling for partial sunshine for a couple of days, and the clouds have been thwarting me. I hope tomorrow it pays off finally. By Sunday, it could be clear to partly cloudy. Monday's our next chance for snow, really light stuff, just a 20% chance for flurries. A slightly better shot, 30% comes around by Wednesday.
That's your news at 5. We'll see you at 6.